It's now time to talk about Week 12 of the Friday Night Mix. The position round that represented Week 12 of the Friday Night Mix turned out to be a super scoring strike-a-thon, where records were threatened to be broken. The 800 handicap series barrier being threatened, and a single game masterpiece that hasn't been done for over 5 years. So let's get on to that. But first, what you are looking at here is perhaps the best console bowling game ever created, Wii Sports Bowling, released in 2006 from Nintendo. It's part of the Wii Sports package that comes with the Wii system, and is the best-selling game of all time with over 30 million units sold. Wii Sports Bowling uses motion controls to mimic throwing the ball down the lane, giving you full control over how the ball is rolled down the lane. And there are a few modes in Wii Sports Bowling, including your regular bowling. You have a spare challenge mode, a power throws mode where you get increasingly more difficult sets of pins to knock down, and a spin control mode where you have to avoid barriers while making spares. Overall, I consider Wii Sports Bowling to be the best bowling game ever released for consoles. We had many noteworthy things happen in Week 12 of the Friday Night Mix. Obviously, the top headline would be the Yanglings. They bowled the first 1,300-plus handicap game since early in the 2005-2006 season, when the fast lane shot 13-17. An amazing performance indeed. 3 bowlers flirted with the 800 handicap series barrier, and one of those bowlers shot a 300-plus handicap game. Also, darn impressive to say the least. A lot of teams really came to play, 10 teams shooting over 3,200 with handicap, including many of the teams that lost. And 2 teams also flirted with the 3,500 handicap series barrier, which pretty much means you have to bowl out of your mind in order to get that. Jeffrey Twombly became the 3rd bowler this season to break the 700 series barrier. The Oddballs get sweet revenge against the Bizpins and are now up by 5 on everybody else. 4 of the 7 matchups in the position round were blowouts, with a total wood average of 189 pins. The Oddballs taking total wood by over 300 pins in one of the matchups, and the Ballbusters taking total wood by over 200 pins in another. 2 matchups were close. The closest one of the night would be the matchup between Who Knows and the Alley Cats, being decided by just 2 pins in favor of Who Knows, and the Steelers and Pinheads battled, deciding total wood by only 21 pins. Now, if you're wondering about the 3,500 handicap series barrier, that has been broken 3 times before in the last 5 years. The last team to do it was in the 2008-2009 season. That would be the Keystone Kids, bowling 3,504. And then in an amazing matchup on February 22nd, 2008, Team 7 and the High Rollers would just go absolutely scoreboard destroying, where total wood for both teams averaged 3,566. Something we may never, ever see again. Now, here are the top performers of week number 12. Jeffrey Twombly is our best top performer, with a 265 game and 700 series. Other top performers included Matt Rio with a 199 game, Jim Volpe with a 212 game, Jason Knox with a 224 game and 559 series. He was one of the bowlers to flirt with the 800 barrier. Tom Heiser had a sweet 257 game and was the bowler who broke the 300 handicap game barrier. Lisa Lee shot a 202 game and 494 series. David Miller also was flirting with the 800 barrier with a sweet 647 series. Daniel Miller had a sweet 236 game. Gloria Milne finally broke through with a 199 game and a 504 series. Carolyn Venny with a 191 game. And of course, as we mentioned, the two teams, the Yanglings with the 13-12 handicap game and 34-96 handicap series, and the Oddballs with a 34-87 handicap series, which means you had to do everything right. We do have an honorable mention this week, and that goes to Carol Paglucia with a 434 series. Our not top performers are James Borgman and Scott Cooper. So here are the standings after 12 weeks. The Oddballs are up by 5. There's a two-way tie between Off the Wall and the Bizpins. The Yanglings are 4th, and the Ballbusters are 5th. Now, back to Wii Sports Bowling. You see me in the power throws mode as I try to get strike after strike against harder and harder sets of pins, ultimately bringing me to a 91 pin set. Obviously, that would be the most difficult for me to hit and get a strike on. I would actually like to try some of those sets in real life. And with that, that'll do it for Week 12 of the Friday Night Mix. And until Week 13, so long for now!